Hi, everybody. Welcome to PDQ Live.
We made it.
We made it. We have a lot to go over today, actually.
We do.
It's jam-packed.
Okay. What are we going to talk about?
We are going to talk about best and worst help desk software. We have Andrew on. We haven't had Andrew for a little bit. I'm excited.
It's been a minute.
I love me some Andrew.
Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you.
Okay.
I've been gone.
What else are we going to do? I think we're going to talk about OIDC.
Yes.
Yeah, with Connect and Portal.
And yes, when to use it, why to use it.
Okay.
It's the whole thing.
Alrighty.
We have, hopefully, some questions they're going to ask us. We don't know what questions.
I'm a little nervous.
We do have some questions, and they were good. They were good questions. Thank you for submitting them.
All right.
Hopefully.
I'm
Yeah.
excited then.
I know, me too. And then we're reminding everybody we're going to give away. You said you were going to give us some PDQ keyboards for the best Halloween pictures.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay. I still have a few.
But
I better put them off to the side somewhere.
Yeah. People have not been that great about posting their pictures in the Halloween channel and Discord. So come on, get it
Is
together,
it just
people.
any decor?
Any Halloween pictures. We
right.
have a couple really amazing ones that are in there already. But
I'll post. My
some
wife does a spider on our front lawn. I'll post a picture of it. I won't take credit for it because I don't do it, but it's hers.
Yeah. And then we also want to know what we should be next week. What you and I should dress up as. What we should dress up as.
It is actual Halloween.
Yeah, the day of.
So it is.
Yeah.
I'm going to be me.
Actually, I want you to wear that pink vest and tie.
Well, we talked about this yesterday about having the two of you switch. You dress like Terry, you dress like Josh.
That's super easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super easy. I know how to do that.
Yeah. You go all in.
All right. Okay.
We got to do something. Come on.
All right. Well, should we get into this thing?
Yeah.
Okay, what are we going to start with?
What is first? Favorite help desk. All right, so we are going to vote on it, but first we're going to talk a little bit about the best ones. Okay, so people put some ideas in Discord about the ones that they
This
like.
started off with like an internal discussion, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Of like, what help desk do you like? And
Which one do I like?
Yeah. Was it you and Andrew that were like back and forth?
I think Andrew had some opinions, but I will die on this. Fresh Desk. I think it's called Freshworks now. They changed the name. All-time fave. Love it. Absolutely love it. Because for me, it has everything I want. I am all about getting the customer feedback, the reporting. It's super easy to set up. You can have documentation. There's a portal, self-serve portal. Friggin' love it.
Okay. Fair. All fair. Here's my point on help desk. They're all mid-tier. Like, none of them are great at anything, but like...
Are you bagging on Fresh Desk right now?
No. No. I'm just saying they're all just like... Like, what is the purpose of them? Get ticket in, work ticket, put ticket away.
Well, I think we're going to disagree on this because I want all the information, but that's just me. I'm coming from like an IT manager. I want to know, is the customer upset? And I've been known to call the customer and say, why did you give us a just okay grading? I want to know what's going on.
Okay, that's fair. Maybe we should set the stage like volume probably matters. Volume of ticket, volume of help desk, number of agents. So should we take this from a perspective of small internal IT team? Or maybe something like a customer support team serving like thousands of customers.
Yeah, and
which one? Because I think that depends on where these things get stacked.
Yeah, okay, so we have our free options, right? There's some that are free. Maybe you don't have a budget for it.
Okay.
And then you just got to go with it. Okay, so like one that I really don't care for at all, the name is just escaping my mind right now because remember, I have COVID brain.
Like OS Ticket, I think is one. I've heard of OS Ticket.
Yeah, Spiceworks. Massive thumbs down. The free ones I don't love. I really don't love. So
it's worth spending a little bit of money on it. It's basically what you're saying.
For me, it's totally worth it. Let's jump to let's get
the logos up here and let's start talking about these things.
Because I think if you're going to spend the money, and also when I was researching this, a lot of them now have AI. Where they're going to try to be helpful. Well, let me tell you, before you make the face.
Did my eye rolls make the camera roll too?
Yeah, you did, but let me tell you why. It has the categorization, so if you pick, I'm having problems with my battery, or I'm having problems with it won't boot. It will actually put it to a department. It'll categorize it for you, and it tries to be helpful. But as soon as I saw that, I was like, I don't like that because
it tries
I'm a
to fulfill
freak.
the role of like dispatch.
Yes.
At a large organization.
Exactly. Or if you say, if you're a multi-tenant organization, it'll put it in New York.
Yeah.
Right. And then there was even ones and you could check it and say, have you restarted it? That made me chuckle. So all the ones that are kind of expensive, like your Halo, your Jira, your ServiceNow, your Freshworks, your Zendesk, they all kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
They do everything.
So like your AI integration is here, we're going to prepend all of these queries with your internal documentation. So it's only going to be as good as your internal docs.
Yeah. And it will say, we'll send you an article on how to not be an idiot. Here, try these things, right? So they all kind of do the same thing.
Hot take.
Yeah.
I have never seen an internal IT department documentation that was actually useful for their end users.
Well, of course we're going to disagree because I'm me, but I love documentation.
Sure. Was it actually helpful for your end users? Did any of your end users use the internal knowledge base to solve their own problems? After
I made them. But yeah, okay, anyway. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right, let's rate them. Are you ready?
So you like Freshdesk.
Love Freshdesk. Love Freshdesk. Hate Jira. Hate it. Hate it. Just, are you torturing me? Why are you going to make me do that? Okay, let's put it on that tier.
second that.
Ready?
I hate it.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Let's start with Freshdesk.
Okay.
For me, S tier. Freaking love it.
Sure.
It's not cheap though.
Look, if it was up to me, all of these would be a B because they're all just like, eh.
Okay, well, let's go.
Except for one.
Which one?
We use JitBit internally.
Okay.
And here's why I love JitBit.
Okay, why do you love it?
Because it is super simple. It is just a ticketing platform. Ticket comes in.
Right.
Ticket goes through works. Ticket gets closed.
Okay,
and there's basic canned reporting. Like the basic stuff you want.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take 3 hours to configure the stupid thing.
Well, and that was one thing I noticed with all of these ones that were kind of expensive. They try to do too much. They had like network scanning. They were an MDM. They did patch management. I'm like, I don't care about that. I just want a help desk.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So you like it for its simplicity.
I do.
Okay.
Yep. That's all I wanted it for.
Jira. Oh, freaking hate this thing. For me, it's a D, but what do you think?
I think Jira is a C, and here's why Jira is a C.
Let's give it a C.
Is because Jira is what you put into it. If you have someone that was seriously just wants to like manage the thing over and over and over again, it can be really good. But if you have someone who wants to just set it up and forget about it, it's going to be garbage.
And the URL's right there, you guys. You can vote. Please vote. We want to hear it. And Brig, it is an S. We're going to fight later. Brig, you're in big trouble.
All right, let's get through the rest of these.
Okay, Manage Engine. This is the worst website. Oh, I hate it. Yeah, I hate that one. Halo. A lot of people in Discord love this one. I haven't used this one personally.
Haven't used it. So let's start at a B.
Let's give it a B. Yeah, because I don't know. Service Desk Now. This one actually looked pretty good. I haven't used it.
I've heard good things.
Okay, we're going to give it an A. I haven't used it, but
Spiceworks can, stay away.
Yeah, hated it.
I used Sys8 in like 2012-ish. It was on-prem. It did the thing. It was clunky though, so.
It actually, in my opinion, I made notes for myself. It tries to do too much. In my opinion,
I haven't used it recently. It's probably like they've got a lot of customers. I bet it's a B tier. I bet it's in the middle.
All right, let's give it a B. It was nice. I thought it tried to do too much.
Okay.
So PDQ, not your department, but PDQ uses Zendesk. And Sid actually wrote me a novel. He loves Zendesk, and Sid's pretty hard to please.
Yeah.
Sid and Glenn both really like Zendesk, so
Zendesk is
we
good.
should probably give it an S.
Yeah, Zendesk is very good. But the thing with Zendesk is it's good at large volume. Yeah. It does take quite a bit of effort.
But if you put the effort in, it's going to be good.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
But it's not cheap, right?
It's not terribly cheap, no.
And Zoho, what do you think about Zoho?
I've never used it.
Zoho starts at $9, but it can go up to $50.
Wow.
So it can be expensive.
It's probably a B or a C tier then. It's probably just like in there. Yeah. I like most Zoho products are kind of just like, I think.
You're talking $9 or $50
per agent.
Per agent. Most of these are agent based, unless they're free. But yeah, of course, because they're free.
Yeah, Jake said that he used Zoho at a previous job, couldn't stand it. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, everyone's going to have strong opinions. Okay. That's our vote, Jake. So did everyone else vote?
Yeah, let's see what the crowd said.
All right, let's see.
All right. So Zendesk, you agreed it was an S?
Okay. Freshdesk was an A.
An A, yeah. All right. Wow,
Halo. Jira.
Yeah, we're just off. We're just off. All right, so we disagree.
When I was creating this tier list, I had a really hard time not finding a logo that wasn't Halo, like the video game.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Halo had.
That's actually probably a hard marketing thing to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also don't know how Spiceworks is anything over a D.
I hated Spiceworks.
Somebody likes it.
Someone likes it, though. Well, it's not expensive. When I use it, it was free. I don't know if it's still free, but Sysay did a lot. So I'm not actually surprised that people put it at a B. So Brig and I are going to fight. We're having a big fight later.
Let's televise it.
Cool.
Okay. Well, there's our help desk. So, okay.
Loved it.
Thanks for shedding a tear.
Thanks for shedding a tear. All right. OIDC. Are you ready?
We're on to a tech tip. Okay. Should we set this up? Do you want me to set this up?
Wait, Brig is calling me out about reports. Oh, it is on, Brig.
Great.
Let's do this.
I want to watch this. I know where my money's going.
This. Where?
Brig.
You know what? That is rude. You're underestimating my OCD right now. All right.
OIDC.
Yes.
What is it? Why do you want it?
All right. First thing, I'm going to say this first. I think we have 2 or 3 articles that are included in this description. And I'm just going to tell you this. Glenn was updating this article last night.
Well, yeah.
So we're still adding stuff to it.
The fun thing is like Microsoft likes to change their UI and where buttons are.
Yes.
Every 6 minutes. So specifically for Entra,
yes.
Like they move stuff. And if you're on the preview for their newest admin thing, things might be in a different place versus their classic.
Yeah. So we're going to start with kind of defining what it is, as we kind of talked about. So OpenID Connect is really what it's called. So why would we even do this? That's probably where we should start with it. Pretend like you're not a 365 shop. You have an identity provider, right?
Yeah. Everyone has an identity provider.
Yes.
Somewhat. Maybe you're a Google shop. Maybe you're an Okta, OneLogin, There's a bunch of them, right?
Yes.
Someone lands on something that provides identity services for their organization.
Yes. So I'm going to tell you the ones that we currently
have an article for.
Yeah, or support.
Yeah. Well, if your service, your identity provider supports OIDC, it works here. We just might not have a knowledge base article for it.
Yeah. So this is pulled straight out of our article. So right now it's Entra ID, Okta, Duo, Single Sign-On, Oracle, IDCS, and OneLogin. And in the article, it actually says if they aren't supported, reach out to us and we'll see about if we can support them.
Yeah.
So we're just going to go straight off of the article. Okay. So the first article that we're going to talk about tells you how to do it inside of Entra. And you're just going to follow these directions. And we're not going to do it on the show because it's very click heavy. It's a whole lot of clicking. But essentially what you're going to do is you're going to create an application inside of Entra. Go to entra.microsoft.com. You're going to create the application. You're going to go to endpoints. Then you're going to create a client secret.
You're getting
for that
3
application.
Fields.
3 fields. That's right.
Yep, is what Portal needs.
Yep, and then you're gonna go find this redirect URI. Then you're going to assign the permission. So we need 3 identities.
Yeah. So
right?
let's go
fields.
show what those look like, and then we'll talk about the permissions because that's why you go through this effort.
Yes, because we're looking for discovery, document URI, client ID, and client secret.
So let's go to Portal and let's show people where they would put those in. So that's portal.pdq.com.
Yep.
Account, scroll
Mine is
all the way down to the bottom.
Yep.
And here's the settings.
This is what we're looking for.
Okay.
And everyone's going to be the same. These are just the ones that I pulled off of the application that I created in Entra.
Okay.
So once I populate these, this is step 1.
Yep.
I have to populate these.
Yep.
Then, as the administrator for my environment, now I'm going to say, what do I want to allow for the users in my environment?
Yes.
So I have populated this. That's step 1.
So this is what made OIDC available for you.
Yes. Now I'm going to scroll up because now I need to make some changes, okay? So you see right now, it's turned off. And this passwordless with email, so this is going to be a legacy. And they talk about this in the article. So I'm just going to call it out because you want to be careful because, again, I say this is legacy. Once you turn it off, you can't turn it back on. And it talks about this in the article.
Yeah. So make a conscious decision here.
Yes.
Right? If you turn off username and password, you can't turn it back on. You turn off passwordless email, you can turn it back on.
Yes.
You can get to a point where you can turn off all authentication, right? That's probably not a great idea.
Don't start with yourself.
And the other kind of call out here I want to make is if you're the only admin in this under your team, I'd highly, highly suggest you create a backup admin.
Yes.
Because you can get into a situation here where you're like, well, I thought I had OIDC right, or I thought I had this right and wrong, and now I can't log in. And if you're the only admin and you can't get back in, you're going to have to contact support, and it's not a super simple process to get you back in.
Right.
The reason it's not is we want to make sure that you are who you say you are, right? Like we have this product Connect where you can get in and make changes on computers. I got to make sure you are the person you're claiming to be before I help you get back in.
Yeah.
Same thing with MFA.
Definitely don't start with yourself. That's why we're kind of talking about that.
Yeah.
Not to scare you, just don't start with yourself. Okay. So, and again, the
pick what you want here. Like OIDC is different than Google and Microsoft in that portal. Yes. Google and Microsoft in there, those are like the social login type provider, the open login, where it's just validating you are who you say you are, but not giving you any additional controls.
Right.
So the business case, why do I want to use OIDC or OpenID Connect? Is I get to bring my own identity provider.
Yes.
And when I bring my own identity provider, I get to set all kinds of rules about when someone can authenticate, right? What they can actually do. So let's say that I've set up OIDC in Portal and I leave that as my only available login option. Now, anytime anybody wants to connect, that authentication request, instead of going to PDQ to say yes, no, is going to go to your identity provider.
Right.
And those identity providers have so many features that you can turn on to check. Hey, maybe it's a required location, like IP location. Maybe it's on a required device. Maybe it's on a required device and a required location. You can really start to scope down who can get in and under what conditions.
Yeah. So if you want to be extra secure, this is a great
and it's going to depend on your identity provider, what you can and can't do. Okta, you can do a bunch of stuff. Entra, you can do a bunch of stuff. I think Entra calls it a conditional access policy.
Yeah. Per user, even if you wanted to
per
be
user,
so
per group,
granular.
per authorized group. Yep. So that lets you in, and then you have RBAC inside of Connect on top of that.
Yeah.
So this is where you can get very granular on when you can log in and then what you can actually do once you're logged in.
Yeah. But again, I'm going to call back to the article because make sure you read it because it starts with the login session duration. And you want to make sure that the 10 days is the default. But you can even change this. So pay attention to this article. Starting here.
So this is where, that's kind of the OIDC, I think, in like a nutshell.
Yes.
Like this is why you do this thing.
Yeah. But pay attention.
Yeah, pay attention. Don't get yourself locked out. If you get yourself locked out, we can help you, but it's going to be painful for you and it's going to be painful for us. Nobody wants to do that.
Nobody wants to.
Yep.
Okay, do we have any questions about that?
Yeah, it looks like here it's like, this is the way, and if you're not testing in prod, can you call yourself sysadmin? Please don't test in prod. Well, I mean, you can if you want to go get like a notarized letter to prove who you are. Be my guest. It sucks.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
So there is one question. What's the business case for doing this? Is it secure? Pros, cons of doing this instead of creating manual accounts?
So I think Josh just answered it. If you have a situation where you wanted to be more secure, you wanted to bring your own.
Yeah, think about a case of it's not like a fun case to think about, but think about an employee termination. Maybe a sysadmin on your team has a lot of access, right? And it's a termination. If you've got all these manually created accounts everywhere, that's a large orchestrated effort to go disable them quickly. Whereas if you're pointing everything back to your identity provider with SAML or OIDC, you can disable the account and revoke all sessions there, and it instantly is applied to everything that's looking back to the identity provider. That way you're not having to remember, oh yeah, they had access to here, they had access to this, they had access to this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Or you're not a 365 user. You use Okta.
Yeah. You can do the same thing with Okta.
Yeah.
Okay. I think there's a question there on OIDC versus SAML 2.0. I think it's a preference thing. I think OIDC is easier. They're just two different ways of accomplishing the same task. I just think OIDC is easier.
Okay. Oh my gosh, it's Andrew time. Are you ready? I love Andrew time.
It's time for a PowerShell.
PowerShell Pro Tips.
It never gets old.
Shibbity bop doo.
What?
All right.
He did it again.
Sorry, I wasn't quite ready, so I just say random things. But so if you didn't know, every single week we do the PowerShell podcast, which is an interview format show. And in almost every single episode, I ask the guest, what are your top 3 favorite PowerShell modules? And you know what? There's a trend. There's been some modules recommended time and time again. So I'm going to share a couple of those with you and then dive deep into one of them, my preferred one that I think everyone can take advantage of. So first of all, we got PS Readline. That is your key to enhancing your console experience. You probably already have it installed, but get the latest version, install module PS Readline -force. There's also DBA Tools, which is a PowerShell module designed to interact with and do a whole bunch of SQL stuff. I know not everyone does SQL, but those who do it, are very passionate about DBA Tools. But last but not least, and if you've been listening to me for a while, even on the webcast or the podcast, you know I'm a huge fan of Import Excel. It is a fantastic module to allow you to create and interact with Excel without needing Excel installed. And I've put together a little video to guide you through and get you prepared to start taking advantage of Import Excel. Run that clip. Today we're going to be covering Import Excel. Now, if you didn't know, I'm the host of the PowerShell podcast, and this is the #1 recommended module. Every single episode I ask the people, what are your 3 favorite modules? Import Excel comes up about every other episode. It is that impactful. Now, what is Import Excel? Well, as you can tell by Excel being in the title, it's a way to interact with Excel. Now, that's just like a little bit. You can interact with, you can manipulate, you can import, you can export to Excel. That's great, but who wants Excel installed? Good news for you, and thanks to Doug Fink, the developer of this Import Excel project, you don't need Excel installed. That's huge. You can run this on whatever computers you have or servers or wherever you need to execute it. That's perfect. You don't need Office installed. That's its own beast. Trust me, I get it. Let's look at what you need to get started. So the way you get started is you install the module. All right, install module, import Excel. And there's 2 commands that I recommend paying attention to. That is import Excel, that is export Excel, excuse me. So import Excel, you have an excel.xlsx file that you need to get data from. Well, good news for you, you can do that. Import Excel, period, / what did I name this? I think I called it Excel sheet.xlsx. So let's see, that's an XLSX. That is a fancy whole thing, right? We don't need to learn about any of that. All we need to do is install the module and run this command, and all of a sudden we have some fantastic data available to us. You may have products that output an Excel sheet. You may have a manager that loves creating an Excel sheet, and congrats, you can still automate and live in their world. Because as PowerShell people, if you're watching this, you're probably very comfortable in PowerShell. When you start to interact with other departments and go outside of your team, or maybe interacting with managers or people like that, Excel is the way to do it. There's a whole bunch. This is a module that you can take with you for a while. There is more parameters than I could cover in 1, 2, 3, or 4 videos, but I wanted to highlight some that I've had a lot of success with in the past and that I think are worth a little mention. And that is show to begin with. So -show. If we use export Excel with show, and in the data property, I have a bunch of structured CSV data. We hit export Excel, and then we do show, and we'll get rid of the other stuff as well. All right, and it shows it, and you see there's some cool stuff going on there. Simple. There's also worksheet name, which allows you to add a worksheet name. That is a super helpful thing. If you have some process in your organization where you have different sites and you want to create an Excel spreadsheet that has all of the Office licenses at a given site. And you can create that for every single site in your whole company. You can loop through each location and every single user that matches that Office location. You grab all their information and put it in an Excel sheet. That is an actual example I had for my last job where there was some manual process where they were trying to audit how many licenses are we paying for across the company. And my boss was manually doing the process. Well, it turns out with like an hour or 2 with Import Excel, I was able to use PowerShell, connect to Microsoft Online, get all that they need, and email it to them, and put it in a nicely formatted Excel document with worksheets for every single site and a summary page at the end that has basic information about all of them. So there's very high ceiling with what you can do. So we're going to define some data, and as you can see, this is a CSV format, right? You have comma, separated values. Values, commas. The top row is the headers of everything else. So a lot of stuff there. We'll define it. Now we need to create a chart. So as you can see, new Excel chart definition. We give it an X range, a Y range, a title, and no legend. And when you go to create stuff like this, play around and try things, and also refer to the documentation. At least for me, as soon as we start talking X, Ys, and ranges and all this stuff, I instantly think it's a little bit above my pay grade. So bite off what you can chew. But what you're left with at the end is actually pretty sick. So we will do this, export Excel. And as you can see now, we have this table. This is written in PowerShell. Excel does not need to be installed to create this. Obviously, to view it in Excel, you need Excel. But to create it and send this off to someone else using some process, that's free, baby. I like free. There's also pivot tables. So as you can see here, we have more structured data, export Excel, give it the path that you want to export it to, auto name range, show, pivot rows, region, pivot data, pivot chart type, pie exploded 3D. So a lot of configurable stuff there. Let's run that. Pivot table. To me, if I see graphical stuff and all I had to do is type one command, that blows my mind. This module is, you can see why people recommend it all the time. It is very, very impactful.
Thank you, Andrew.
And yeah, there you have it. I am passionate. I'm getting fired up seeing that. If you have questions, I said it in the chat, but join us in the PowerShell scripting channel of the Discord, and I'm happy to work with you, give you some suggestions, and show you how you can take advantage of Import Excel for free.
Cool. Now do it with PowerPoint.
No.
Thanks, Andrew. Yeah, pivot tables and Excel. Yeah, blood pressure rises.
Oh, yeah.
Is the right.
The whole segment was making me nervous. I'm not going to lie. That's free, baby. I'm going to say that every day now. That's free, baby.
All right. Thanks, Andrew. I think we're on to our last segment, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
I'm ready.
I'm not, but I guess ask us anything.
Don't ask us to make pivot tables.
So we had users submit questions. They did not have to be IT related. Some were, most were not.
Great.
So we have not given Josh and Tara advanced notice on what these questions are. So let's just dive in. All right. Question number 1 from Alexander N. Sock, sock, shoe, shoe, or sock, shoe, sock, shoe. There is a right answer.
I'm not a sociopath. Sock, sock, shoe, shoe.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, geez. Alex, you're scaring me, man. Did you dust your basement yet? Please say yes. Please.
All right. Moving right along, a question from Marcel. What is the true relationship off screen for you two?
Oh,
Pure loathing.
just loathing. Just absolute hatred.
Fighting in the halls, screaming matches. HR's involved.
I have Tara, we have facial recognition on the cameras. She's listed as a person of interest. So I get a notification when she comes to the 3rd floor so I can run.
I knew it.
She's been known to show up at Josh's doorstep at like after hours.
Yeah. No, but I don't know. I think this is pretty genuine.
It's the same.
Yeah. I'm flattered you think that we can act this well, though.
Only Jake could act this well.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. What's the worst, and I did edit this, oh poop, what did I just do moment you've had in your IT career? Sincerely, Jake W.
I clicked on a virus.
You what?
Yeah. I had no idea. I was busy. It was like 7 in the morning. The assignment desk said, should I click on this? And the dumbest part was I even had a throwaway VM that I was supposed to open things on, but I was like, had 70 tickets and I'm like, I'll just open it.
You know, this reminds me of Jake. Jake, I hope you're still in the chat. And Rachel's in the chat. And so you want to know what Jake does? Bless his heart. Jake, anytime someone in Zendesk is like, hey, this attachment looks a little fishy, Jake's like, I'm going to click that.
Yep, I did it.
But it's like, why?
And that's how she got COVID, people.
I know. It was just, this was like 10 years ago. I was just real busy. That was the stupidest thing. It was a macro.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just
Thank
casually
goodness.
surfing LimeWire like I was supposed to just get
LimeWire. Oh, I see Broken by Epicor saying deleting a 1 terabyte exchange snapshot.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
have done something similar. It wasn't that big, but yeah, that VM stun is real. Like no mail. Mail's done. You
Right.
can't do anything. You just sit and wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. My biggest moment as working with Brig of all people. He has his own raid story, but my raid story involves a raid 0 and a client with all of their medical data. Trying to move them off of raid 0. Drive failed. Yeah, clicking drives out. Yeah, it was horrible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was the biggest. Yep. And oh poop.
Is it okay that I use the Pirate Bay at work?
Let me show you how, but sure.
Okay.
All right. We have another question from Alex N. What got you hooked on computers/tech when you were growing up?
StarCraft.
Oh, dude, yes.
Yep.
Excellent game.
Yeah. IPX connections. StarCraft.
The first StarCraft?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one where you connect with either modem, but then the first thing I actually had to learn about was a crossover cable with like Ethernet, like networking, because auto MDIX was not a thing. And if you wanted to play with somebody on the same local network.
Oh yeah, great game, classic.
Yep. Tara?
It wasn't when I was growing up. It was. Josh is going to laugh at this. It was, if you tell me I can't do something, I absolutely have to do it. That was it.
Really? Someone was just like, you can't do IT, and you're like, watch me.
Yes. I wish I was lying, but yes, that's true.
Okay. We have one for Andrew here. Do you have any resources for a PowerShell script that would uninstall the bloatware that comes with a Windows 11 Pro PC? I had one for Windows 10, but it isn't working for Windows 11.
Oh, that's so. Brock was asking me about that yesterday. Do you?
I don't. I just use Mac.
We should probably
That
look
is a
at that
great
because
question.
he was actually asking about that yesterday. Because we did a show, it wasn't you, it was Jordan, a couple years ago on how to get rid of bloatware in Windows 10. But so now 11 has all these ads that actually download when you download applications from the Microsoft Store. We should look at that, Andrew, because Andrew's going to be here in 2 weeks. Andrew, let's do it.
Yes. I do have a suggestion, though, that could maybe get you started. I don't know of anything for sure, but there's this thing called WinUtil by a guy named Chris Titus Tech that has some tweaks and fixes and updates that you can use. Check out that project that came across my radar earlier today. But yeah, off the top of my head, I don't have anything for you.
Okay. Moving along. One for Josh. I'm wondering how Josh fared against his lawn Roomba. Also, has the PDQ Halloween costume theme been decided? Who's giving out the full-size Snickers this year?
Lawn Roomba, he still wins. Like, he's still in my house. He's still alive. He's got to come into the garage soon. It's getting cold.
Do you know how many times I've asked him for a picture of Lawn Roomba?
That would require me having to go out and interact with him. Like, I feign that I like him for my wife's sake, but I really don't like him.
I don't believe you. I really don't believe you. I think he goes out and he's like, "Hi, baby, how's you doing? Daddy loves you." That's what I think.
We used to give out like full-size candy bars because I live on a pretty steep hill. And so and we have a steep driveway and stairs to our front door. So we figured anyone who made the trek, we'll give them full-size candy. We ended up with more candy because nobody came. Last year, we ended up on the top of our driveway, put out our fire pit and sat out there. And we had a lot of people just come hang out. So this year, we're actually, I think, going to make tacos and have a fire pit at the top of the driveway. And anybody who comes up can have some tacos.
That's what we do. Our cul-de-sac does that.
I put out a bowl of broccoli with a sign that said, "Please only take one."
You don't.
I did. I'm not kidding.
You did.
I did. All right.
As a kid, I probably would have thrown that at your house.
Oh, these kids loved it. We had to fill the bowl 3 times. And our final question, who is the better shot with Nerf guns? Let's find out.
What?
Let's do this. Are you ready?
I think it might be Tara.
I'm sure that it's not.
Oh no.
Stand by, we're gonna set
when
some
Jake
stuff up.
didn't know
Jake
this was
first
happening.
started here, his desk was right outside my office. He had no idea who I was. He wasn't even on my team. And I used to just shoot him during his morning stand-up with Nerf, and he had no idea who I was. It was hilarious.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh.
You guys are going to go and stand right over there.
Oh, buddy.
Oh
This
my
is
gosh.
legit.
We're going to set up a target.
Sorry, Andrew, we don't have a gun for you.
This is intense. I didn't see this coming.
I don't think they did either.
Oh, Kelly's down. Cut the show.
Why would they do that?
That's all right. I deserved it. All right.
There's the shot. All right. Tell us who's
Okay,
shooting.
we're going to have Josh go first. Josh, you're shooting. Total miss. Tara. She's trying to pull the trigger. She's trying.
My gun doesn't work.
Josh, can you get her loaded up?
Here.
Use that one.
Use that one.
Oh, you both are terrible. One more shot. Josh, hit it. Tara.
There you go.
One more. One more
This
try.
reminds me of that Home Alone scene.
All
where
right.
he's shooting the
Of course.
The Home Alone.
the little action figures.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
How much fun these are.
So I guess the answer is Josh wins.
Well, the fact that I couldn't even pull the trigger should tell you something.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, Josh is like you pretty big Call of Duty player in the past, right?
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
also,
I've
if you
played a
go
lot
up
of
to his
Warzone.
floor, there's Nerf guns everywhere.
Do you remember we had a Nerf battle in the office, the entire company at one point? We should do that again.
We should. That was
Really,
fun.
what was I doing wrong though?
That was a wild time.
You have to pull this all the
So
way.
you have to go all the way back, and then you have to push it all the way forward.
Oh, then you push it. Okay, well,
Yeah.
I don't even know how to do it. Oh, I have Rona finger. Thank you, Marcel. That's right. Rona finger. Yeah, I have Rona.
That is a
Can I
tested
shoot
and
the camera?
true symptom of COVID. You get Rona finger.
Okay.
I actually
All
don't.
right. Well, I think that's it for us.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Thanks for joining, everybody.
Yes, thank you.
All right. For PDQ, I'm Josh.
I'm Tara.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. Do us a favor, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave us your comments. We love those as well. Have a fantastic week. We'll see you back here next time.